Yes, good morning all of you. You are studying class 10th from RMPS and I am Anup Upadhyay. Today your topic is how to protect workers in organized sector. Okay. In previous classes we have studied about the difference between organized sector and unorganized sector. So I think and I hope that you have learned very well about the organized and unorganized sector. We have also studied how to create employment in India. Okay. Now today we are going to study how to protect the worker which are in unorganized sector. In previous class we have studied through the example of Kamta and Ramu. Okay. Now there is a challenge of shift from organized sector organized to unorganized. Actually what is happening, the government is slowly such like the example of big factories, take the example of big factories or the small scale industries, the government is forcing them to change them into a from unorganized to a organized sector. So when they are turning to from unorganized sector to organized sector, they have to pay revenue to the government. So to evade from this revenue, they started shifting from organized to unorganized so that they can pay less wages to the worker. So there is a challenge of shift from organized to unorganized sector. Okay. Now there are two types of shift, rural and the urban shift. Okay. If we find in rural areas there are many types of workers who are engaged in unorganized sector, such like landless agricultural labor, a small and marginal farmer, sharecroppers and artisan. Here the sharecroppers are those types of farmers who share with others, such like जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल टेक द एग्जांपल, जैसे मान लीजिए कि मेरे पास ज़मीन है, 5 बीघा ज़मीन है एंड आई एम नॉट एबल टू कल्टिवेट दैट लैंड. So in that case, if a person who is landless, he demands that give me some amount of land and I will do cultivation on that land. So he is what he is doing, he is using this sharecropper. Okay. And artisans artisans such like blacksmith, weavers, carpenters, goldsmith, these types of workers are engaged in unorganized sectors, and about 80% people are engaged in India from rural sectors. These peoples must be protected and we need to plan about this. The government is planning for them that how they must be protected, and for their protection the government is providing seeds and better facilities such as irrigation facilities, so that they must be protected from the unorganized sector. Now talking about the urban sector, in urban sector also small scale industries, casual workers in construction, trade and transportation, etc. Here also we find many unorganized people who are working only for a meager amount of money. So we need to protect all these workers who are working in rural areas and in urban areas. There is also a problem of social discrimination. Actually what is happening over here, why I have given the topic social discrimination, because this type of people who are in the unorganized sector, they belong from a particular sector, that is from generally they are from SC and ST. Okay. That is why, and they are discriminated on the basis of caste and color. Okay. So it is very helpful for the economic and the social development, and social development. For the economic and social development, we need to protect the worker in the unorganized sector. Okay. So you go through this topic. It is not an important topic, but I told you because it is in your NCERT book. So you go through this topic. Okay. Now the next one is yes. Now next one we are going to study. This is a very important topic. Okay. Public sector and private sector. Okay. So the public sector, as per its name is public sector. So it is basically made for the public purpose. It is basically made for the public purpose. And the second one is private sector, which is privately owned by someone. Okay. For example, take the example of a park. The park is made by the government. The park is made by the government, and any public can go and walk in that park. Okay. So it is owned by the government. Now another one, take the example of a private sector, such like take an example of a RM Public School only. Okay. RM Public School is owned by Vikas Singh. The director is the Vikas Singh. Okay. So it is a private sector. So public sector which is made for the public purpose, and it is run by the government. Okay. The first point is it is run by the government, whereas the private sector it is owned by the individual. It is for the personal purpose. Okay. Now second one, its example is railway. Public sector example is railway, and here the example is TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company. Okay. You can take example of Reliance also. Here the public sector, their main purpose, their main motive or the main purpose is to provide service to the people. Here the main motive is to provide service to the people. How they are providing service to the people? So when you are traveling from one place to another place, then if you go by car, if you hire a car which is owned by an individual person, he will demand lot of amount of money from you. But if you go through the railways, they will take meager amount of money from you. There are different categories in railways also. If you go through the sleeper, if you go through the AC class, then you will be demanded higher amount of money. If you go in sleeper class, they will demand middle मध्यम जो है आपको जो है पैसा डिमांड किया जाएगा. Whereas in general it is for the all people who are in the unorganized sector. They can also able to travel in the general. For long distance they used to travel in the general. Okay. Now so in this way they provide service to the people. Okay. Now here the main motive is to earn profit. Take the example of a school. Okay. Take the example of a school. If you are studying in a government school, then you have to give meager amount of money. And apart from this, the government school are also providing food to you and clothes to you. Whereas in private sector, lot of money is needed. The private sector, in private sector, they demand lot of money, tuition fees and extra amount of money. So their main motive is to earn profit. Okay, understood? Now, yes. Now, as we have studied about the organized and unorganized sectors, we have studied that we must protect the worker who are working in unorganized sector. Now, there are some issues, some activities in which the government has to intervene in that matter. Without the intervention of the government, that work cannot be fulfilled. Okay. So the first example is selling electricity. Okay. The electricity is the most important thing in the business. Okay. So take the example of a factory or a small scale industry. They need the electricity, and if a private owner will supply the electricity, then there will be a large amount of electricity bill will be consumed. So selling electricity at the cost of generation, it means at lower cost, at higher rate, may push up the cost of production. Okay, of the goods in many industries. So in this matter, the government has to intervene, and government has to sell the electricity at a lower cost. Now the second one is a small scale. If it will not happen, then a small scale industries may have to be shut down in that case. Okay. Now the second one is PDS system. The PDS system, in class 9th we have studied about the PDS system. It is public distribution systems, in which, for example, I have given the rice at a fair prices. Okay. in India, where the population is about 130 crore, people are living over here, and here the poverty, the people who are living below the poverty line is very high. So at that condition, the PDS system must be introduced by the government, so that each and every individual of our country get the a fixed amount of calorie, so that they must be not malnutrition, or they must be get equal amount of food for their necessities. Okay, so PDS system is the second important thing, so that the poor people get rice or many other things at a fair price. Now in this way we can see that the government supports both the farmer and the consumers. So in these types of activities which cannot be introduced by the government, if the government will not intervene, then it will be left abolished. Okay, so these are the points, please note it down. Okay, next one more point is there. Now next one, that in which sector government must spend. Okay, तो किस फील्ड में जो है गवर्नमेंट को जो है स्पेंड करनी चाहिए. ठीक है, the first point is quality education. To provide quality education, it is very essential that the government must spend some amount of money on that, because if as I told you that India is a very highly populated country, and in a highly populated country like India, the amount of illiterate people is very high. So it is very essential to provide quality education in our country. And what does education bring in our society? Education makes human resource in our country. So it is very essential for the government to spend in a quality education for the proper running of the school, and where especially in elementary education. In elementary education means class 1 to 5. Class 1 to 5. This is called as the elementary education. Okay, 1 to 5, 1 to 8. Sorry, 1 to 8. This is the elementary education. So the government must spend especially in elementary education from class 1 to 8. Now the first one is clear. Now the second point is proper health facilities. The government must also spend some amount of money so that in India proper health facilities should be provided to all people, such like by building hospitals in our country, so that in India many children and many peoples are malnutrition, and here the infant mortality rate is also very high. So to decrease these types of things, proper health facilities should be provided, and government must intervene and must spend some amount of money to provide proper health facilities in India. Okay, now the third point is safe drinking water. Safe drinking water is also related to the health facilities. So the government it is the essential duty of the government to provide safe drinking water, and they must spend some amount of money to provide safe drinking water, such like in Bihar also. Take the example of the government is providing Jal Nal Yojana. Jal Nal Yojana in Bihar. Jal Nal Yojana example you can give it in Bihar. The main purpose of this Yojana or the scheme is to provide safe drinking water in the rural and the urban areas, so that they can provide a better India, a better healthy India. Okay, now the next one is housing facilities. Next one is housing facilities. We can see as India is a very highly populated country, so many people are there who doesn't have their own houses, especially the people who are belonging from BPL. BPL, I told you in class 9th only, below poverty line. They don't have their housing facilities. They don't even have their houses. So government must spend some amount of money to build their houses, and government are doing also by the scheme name is Rega. Yes, it is the housing facilities. The example is Pradhan Mantri housing Awas Yojana. Later its name was Indira Gandhi Awas Yojana, but right now its name is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and through this government is spending some amount of money so that each and every people who are falling in some special category such as BPL, they must allotted some amount of houses. So these types of criteria are there where the government must intervene and spend some amount of money to make a healthy and a wealthy India. Okay, the first one is quality education. Okay, the first one is quality education. The quality education should be provided, the government must spend on the quality education so that human resource can be produced in India. The second point is proper health facilities. The health facilities by building better hospitals in India, the proper health can be made, because in India the infant mortality rate is also high, and also in India the death rate is also very high. So the proper health facilities, on the proper health facilities government must spend some amount of money. Now the next one is safe drinking water. The government is trying in Bihar, Jal Nal Yojana is happening in Bihar, so that the government could provide safe drinking water to each and every individual. Next one is housing facilities. The government is trying to provide each and every individual house so that they can live a better life. So that's all in this chapter. Okay, make the notes, write down your questions. The first question: in which sector government must spend? In which sector government must spend money? In which sector government must spend money? Write down these 4 points and explain each and every point. Okay, one line, explain it in one line. Okay, now the second question: in which sector government must intervene so that it could be beneficial for farmers, and consumers. You can write this question or लिख के उसको कॉमा दीजिए, और write down comma, और how must government respond for the benefit of farmer and consumer? How must government respond for the benefit of farmer and consumer? Next point, next question. Differentiate between public and private sector. Write down in a tabular form. You have to write it in a tabular form. Differentiate in a tabular form. Write down the 3 points. It could be asked a single question also, 1 mark question also, and it could be asked the differentiate between public sector and private sector. You have to differentiate within 3 lines. Okay, in 3 points, and complete the next question. Complete the NCERT notes. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.